part 7 of the tutorial on reflection. So we're going to be making the reflections in the water. I start with the sheep's head. I do have a few minor problems doing this, so that you can watch how I adjust and change the reflections here. So just putting in some very light wispy black. You don't want it too dense, because you don't want it to look as if you've got another sheep in the water. You just want a reflection. So just generally putting the black in, making it approximately the same shape as the head of the sheep. In this case it's very, very close to the sheep itself, because the sheep is really close to the water. So that's how we do it. Bits of wispy black in there. Just trying to get the shape of the head and the ear, just so that it looks, at the moment it's looking quite dense black, but as we move on you'll see how we make it look more like a reflection and less like a sheep in the water. So there we go. We're just slightly changing the shape there and trying to get that ear correct. Well, I'm getting a little bit happier with it. Yeah, there we go. Well, it might have been a good idea to do the reflections there before I put the rocks in at the front, but as long as you can get it right up to the edge of the rock, it shouldn't be a problem. There we are, getting there. Lovely. So, and I'm going to put a tiny bit of a reflection of the white on in a minute. You wouldn't see much of it, but because the rocks are in the way, but you would see some of it. So we'll put that on in a minute. Here we go, a little bit of white, just as it would poke over into the right up to the bank there. So yep, that's good. It would be quite a nice reflection, I think. He's got the sun right behind him. Yeah, that's coming on quite nicely now. Just need the rough shape, because bear in mind that the water is possibly not completely still, so the edges of the reflection won't be as stark as the sheep's head itself. There we go. Yep, getting there. Okay, I might be just putting a little bit of white across now, which is going to make it look more like a reflection. Just breaking it up, you can see it works really quite well and quite quickly to break up that reflection. You could use white, you could use a pale blue across there, but you just need something to break it up, and so it doesn't look so much of a blob, and it will also make it look a little bit lighter. There we go, another one, another bit. And this is just how I do the reflections. Just put the colours in to match whatever item I'm reflecting, and then just put the white or the light blue across the top to give the water effect to it. So yeah, I think it works fairly well. I've had quite a few comments about the reflections on my pictures, so hopefully I've got it right and I'm not teaching you the wrong way to do it. I will later put a little bit of green in the bottom of the picture there, so right close to that bank, so that it doesn't look like you've just got a bit of a white blob, because you haven't, the bank is not quite as the edge of the bank is not quite as sharp there as it might be, so I'll just add a little bit of green in, and that will make it stick out as a bank. So there we go. And now I'm putting in some little bits of reflection. Sorry about my phone. Little bits of reflection under the rocks here, so that it's gonna make the picture look a lot better. Sorry, I just don't seem to be able to speak today. Yeah, so little bits of it's basically the same colour as the rocks themselves, just got some and cut it up very small, so just a little bit of reflections coming out there, as you can see, just roughly the shape of the rocks there. And again, a little bit of white across the top, just making it look like water. Yeah, those white lines just do an amazing job. Turning that blue blob into water. So you've got some reflection from the rock there, and I'm going to have to put a bit of a reflection of that sort of bush, small tree, whatever, there as well, because that is right close to the water. You have to sort of gauge it where things are close to the water or not close to the water, and you know how much of them you would see, because if you've got a tree that's further away, you'd probably only get a reflection from the top of it. You need to sort of eye it up, but that one you would get the reflection of pretty well all of it, or at least from the bottom, because it's right up close. Now you see I've just put a little bit of dark brown there under those rocks, to try to put a shadow as well as a reflection. And here we're just doing a little bit of a reflection for the tree there, not much but a little bit, just so that you've got this, at least you can see it. Yeah, it's there. You don't want to make it too dense, you don't want to make it too dark, just have it there. And there we go, see where it is there, light coloured, and just cut off the excess, no problem. There. And so that's a bit of a reflection of the tree as well. So you know, you need to think about where you're going to put your reflections, what is going to be reflected, and this is how you do it. Another little bit of the white going across, I think, to make it more like the water. Yeah, there we go. It does make quite a difference, putting in reflections and things. You want to make it, you know, sort of fairly realistic. After all, we're not painting a cartoon. Sorry about that. That's my cat just knocked a load of stuff down. Typical. We're having a bad time trying to record this voiceover. There we go. Nearly there. Happy with that. Reflections look good. Looks like water, so I'm just going along the edge of the